Hello and welcome to another edition, episode 49 of the Are You Ready Wrestling podcast here on Newport City Radio. I'm Luke, and this week I'm going to be talking about one of the most talked things this week, the return of R-Truth.
Hi, I'm Jack. For my segment this week, I would like to talk about both Money in the Bank ladder matches.
Hi, I'm Curtis, and for my segment this week, I'm talking WrestleMania going to Las Vegas.
If the conversation we've had off-air about WrestleMania being taken to Las Vegas again, and your previous performances on this podcast, they're anything to go by, Curtis, I can't wait for that.
Of course. Of course.
How are we, though? We okay?
Yes,
It's been a busy week for us here at Newport City Radio. If you've been following on social media, we've had some music awards.
We have indeed. What a great night for local musicians.
Indeed. But we're going to get back down to the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes of what we do here.
Oh, you surprise me with every word you
The
can.
old saying.
Oh, you make me laugh, Luke.
That is the old saying. Back again. So something else that's back. That's a perfect segue into this, Curtis. Thank you.
No problem.
When we sat here last Sunday and recorded this stellar podcast, we had to play a certain thing, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Yes.
The breaking news alarm.
Yes.
Because as we were on our recording, R-Truth, legendary WWE wrestler who is loved by all. It's basically come out at the past 7 days, and so many people have come out in support of Truth and what he does and the way he is. His contract was expiring.
It was, yeah.
It wasn't being renewed, and there was so much backlash. Even fans on Raw and SmackDown and NXT.
I think every arena since it happened.
At random points in the show would just start chanting, "We want Truth."
Yeah.
That's how popular he is. Very similar to the We Want Cody stuff a couple of years ago. And obviously, Cody announced that basically he wasn't going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's going to be The Rock instead. However, last night was Money in the Bank. It was also awards, Clyde, which we'll come on to towards the end of the podcast. But yesterday, or this morning even. This morning, the Truth returned. R-Truth.
The truth was revealed.
It was. I like that. Well done, Jack. Great line from you there. R-Truth made his return to WWE after 7 days. Much anticipated return of R-Truth as Ron Killings.
Surprisingly enough,
which is his legal government name rather than his wrestling name, which was R-Truth. We'll start there. Are we looking too much into that he is Ron Killings now rather than R-Truth? Are we going to see a more serious side to Truth?
Maybe they might bring in a slightly serious side to him. But there's a lot of confusion at the moment, especially with what Triple H said on the post press conference, with it being either being a storyline or actual release according to Truth.
Curtis?
Yes.
Do we think that we will see Ron Killings and we see more of a serious side of R-Truth?
I think so. I think he's kind of come back as a heel kind of thing. He's more serious. He's not so babyface anymore.
Well, if you see his reaction, he is very much a babyface.
Yes, but no. I feel like we're going to see a very more serious side and a more heel side of things. He's going to... I mean, they could do a lot with it. They really can.
Yeah.
But, I mean, WWE finally listen to the fans. They have.
Finally, yes.
Finally. But, I mean, they did it with Cody. When we had the We Want Cody chants, they've done it now with Truth.
They've done it with Brian as well.
Yes.
It's only a matter of time before they listen about WrestleMania, surely.
We'll save that. We'll save that.
I know. I'm just saying, like, if they listened about R-Truth, then why not listen about everything else? Because it's in entertainment. This is just as a whole thing. In entertainment, you're supposed to keep the fans happy. What the fans want, and them wanting Truth back. That's what they wanted. They got it. They wanted Cody in the main event of WrestleMania. They got it. They want one more thing. Will they get it? Not next year. Not this year. It's already happened this year. Yeah. But, you know, I'm glad that they have listened to the fans, but what my main thing is, what was the point in releasing R-Truth, or is contract not expiring when they know for a fact that how big R-Truth is? He was a funny character on WWE TV. He always would get confused, and everyone, and even in the comments, everyone thought, as he got confused, thinking, "Is it an April Fool's joke?"
Yeah,
when it wasn't, but then. You've got Triple H saying last night it was all part of the plan, but then you've got R-Truth's son and R-Truth himself saying, no, I genuinely did get released. My contract genuinely did expire and type thing. So I think there's a lot of confusion with it. And I think they should come out and maybe say exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think so.
Just to clarify.
They might address it on Monday.
They might do, although Truth has kind of been involved on SmackDown, so I think we'll probably see him more on SmackDown. But yeah, R-Truth's son took to social media to say that Triple H's comments, he was capping, to use a phrase that us young people would say.
Yes.
He was capping. What does capping mean, Curtis, for those out there?
Capping means you're lying and you're not telling the exact truth.
I like what you did there.
Of course.
And then R-Truth came out on social media and said it was not a work. That his contract generally, as you said, Curtis, was expiring. I believe it was Fightful Select who reported that R-Truth even had multiple independent wrestling promotions and major wrestling promotions reach out to him to try and book him for shows.
TNA, I think, was one of them.
TNA. I still think he'll probably end up back at TNA at some point. Obviously, we know the relationship between WWE and them at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially with Trick Williams being the TNA World Champion at the moment.
Still, surprisingly.
Yes. He only won it last week, though, didn't he? So,
yeah.
They can load it to Slammiversary. But R-Truth is back, though. He's back, whether it was a work, whether it was a shoot. I think it's more of a actual, he was, as you say, Curtis, he was actually released, but they're going to turn it into a storyline.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what they did with the Cody stuff, wasn't it? As you rightly pointed out, in terms of The Rock was going to face Roman. There was so much backlash that they decided to pivot, as you say, to keep the fans happy. And then they turned it into, I think we can all agree, one of the best, if not the best storyline of 2024 with Cody and The Rock and the whole bloodline stuff, and which ultimately led to a massive payoff of Cody Rhodes winning the undisputed title at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
How do you feel, though, about Triple H not admitting that it was the fans that kind of...
It's very strange.
Would you expect him more if he came out and said, we do actually listen to the fans, and it was the overwhelming support of R-Truth that was the reason that we brought him back?
I think
definitely help.
I think it'd be better for kind of himself and the fans. The fans would feel more respected in a way.
They'd feel more connected to them.
And I think, and I think it's only fair that the reason why they brought him back was because of the fans. We know that. If it wasn't anything to do with the fans, why the hell did they release him then? Why the hell did they let his contract expire? They wouldn't. So for them to release him and then bring him back after 4 days of pure hate on social media towards and directed to WWE, there was a lot of rumors and calls saying that it's not a Triple H call, it was a TKO call, but then it was a WWE.
That was a lot of where the anger was going, was TKO rather than Triple H.
It seemed like it was aimed at TKO because it seemed like the owners of TKO were saying. And apparently there's rumors of them trying to renegotiate Roman Reigns' $15 million to $20 million contract, which I feel like
Roman Reigns for AEW, anyone?
All this money thing also is weird because I think, but then they're saying that they're like cutting people because of contracts and stuff and money, but then they're going to Saudi Arabia and doing a $150 million show. They're going to Las Vegas to make more money. They're doing all these things just to make more money. Why? It's not.
But they're also releasing talent.
It's not about the money.
Yeah,
it really isn't. It's about pure entertainment for the fans. So I think moving forward, they need to. And the problem is, it seemed like when Triple H took over, he was actually listening to the fans.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, since the last couple of weeks, it's changed. The vibe has changed
sort
in a
of
way.
Backfired.
The vibe has changed around WWE.
It's definitely changed. It's definitely changed compared to, say, this time last year when he came out to WrestleMania. And I think we can all sit here and say last year's WrestleMania was one of the best WrestleManias we've seen in a good while.
100%.
Especially, as I mentioned, with Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns finally for the Undisputed Championship. R-Truth, though. We see him more as a serious competitor. We know that WWE have a premium live event coming up called Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia.
We do.
John Cena's confirmed he's going to be there. In the promo for it, they said John Cena in Saudi Arabia for the final time.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see a rematch from Saturday night's main event?
Mm.
Do you think that's where we're going, or do you think this could be a bit more of a wider storyline?
I mean, I think we could definitely see a rematch between them both.
On paper, there is definitely a case for a rematch there.
I mean, because why would R-Truth come back and attack John Cena and spear him and hit him with the championship if they wasn't going to do anything with it? That would be kind of pointless. So I think the direction that they are going in is, in a way, R-Truth costed them the match. In a way, John Cena is a heel. He's going to ruin wrestling. He's going to try and take out R-Truth. He's going to try and end his career for good and actually make him leave WWE and make sure he doesn't come back to WWE in a heelish way. They have a rematch of Night of Champions, and John Cena beats R-Truth.
Would you like? Because obviously, as you mentioned, John Cena's plan to ruin wrestling. Yeah. And he's even stated something like Logan Paul winning the undisputed title, the World Heavyweight title, to give it what you to call it what you call it, Curtis.
Indeed.
Of Jey Uso. How would you feel that John Cena was the one in storyline that released or made the decision to release R-Truth?
I can see that.
It'd be very apropos because he's obviously, Truth idolizes John Cena.
Mm-hmm. Could you say that kind of Truth was getting too close to Cena and Cena wanted him gone, so he was the one that decided to release him?
Get rid of him.
Yeah. On the note of releases and contracts not being renewed, two more after the our podcast recording last week. First of all, Carlito.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
It hasn't been renewed and will be leaving the company. And Sarah Logan as well, who was Valhalla as part of the Viking Raiders before they were rebranded to the War Raiders. How do you feel? Probably more about Carlito because he was on TV week after week with the Judgment Day, wasn't he? Rather than
apparently, I seen a report the other day saying he was only getting paid to just sit there and play on the PS5 as they got in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Apparently,
that's still pretty cool job, though, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Get to hang out with Liv Morgan every week, Jack.
Lucky man. All I'm going to say.
How do you feel, though, about WWE kind of not renewing these contracts? Do you think it's a WWE move or a TKO move?
I'm slightly more leaning towards a TKO sort of move. As they're becoming sort of these sort of bullies with contracts where they either renew them or they don't. It's very strange.
They don't want to renew them for whatever reason, and then they go and announce 50 new sponsors.
Yep.
Turnbuckle had 2 sponsors. The ring mat had about 7 different sponsors. The tables are now sponsored. The ladders even sponsored.
Anything else they want to sponsor?
John Cena's bald patch. Could that be sponsored?
We're even sponsored nowadays. Jack's sponsored by Prime Hydration.
He is.
And I'm sponsored by Monster Energy.
Okay.
That leaves one question. Who are you sponsored by, Luke?
Newport County AFC.
Who are ya? And what league are you in?
League 2.
And that is like the lowest league of professional, like the professional football.
Not really, because you could still. It's the lowest
professional side.
Yeah, it's the lowest.
Kind of,
yeah.
Oh well.
It's so sad.
For now, anyway.
I mean, after the season just gone's performance, I don't think you're going to get anywhere.
Probably go down next season, Jack. Anyway, that's football talk. But it's talking about professional wrestling. Yeah. Before we move on with our truth, let's talk about that match because John Cena and Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena.
He did, yes.
He pinned the undisputed champion, the man who beat him at WrestleMania.
Very surprised.
I believe I sat here this time last week and said that this exact thing was going to happen.
You did.
Cody Rhodes will take the title off John Cena.
I think he will. I think they're building towards John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Probably at John Cena's last match.
Saturday night's main event.
December.
Saturday night's main event.
Cody Rhodes returned at Saturday night's main event. Who's to say you won't leave Saturday night's main event?
As champion.
At the title.
Yes, I think that's very possible. How do you feel about John Cena being pinned though as champion?
Very surprising move for me. Like, especially so early in his run, I would say.
I mean, to be fair though, it was after R-Truth hit him with a title belt.
Yeah.
So, a bit of comeuppance?
It's looking that way, yes.
It is looking that way. And last thing from that match, Logan Paul. You might hate him, Curtis, but that drone shot that they had when he held the drone and Cody hit him with a... What's he hit him with? The suplex off the top rope. And you could see it all. And then Jey Uso kind of came on top of it with a frog splash. I mean, you might not like him, Curtis, but surely you've got to respect how good he is at professional wrestling and what he can do in the ring.
I've always said this, right? As a person,
yeah,
I dislike Logan Paul as a person, right? But as a professional wrestler, as in ring ability, because in the fact that he's a celebrity and a YouTuber, he is phenomenal. It is within no doubt he's phenomenal, and I do rate his in-ring ability. I really do. I think I respect him for the work he puts in, but as a person and how he is as a person, I dislike him. But other than that, I think other than that, his in-ring ability is good. But yeah,
Jack,
yes,
take it away.
The other match I wanted to speak about, actually, the two Money in the Bank matches I wanted to go over were the women's match and the men's match. One, again, my thoughts quickly before I ask you guys.
Should we start with the women's match and then we'll move on to the men's?
Yes, we'll start with that. The women's match for me was the stronger out of the two, participants-wise. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised that Naomi won, but I'm really enjoying her whole heel run. She definitely deserves the win. I think it would fit a lot better if she was a heel with the briefcase. And overall, the men's match was slightly weaker in my opinion with participants, but I'm incredibly proud that Seth...
Even without Grande Americano in there?
Yes, even with...
Who is not Chad Gable, Curtis.
He is Chad Gable. He is Chad Gable. I'm incredibly proud that Seth has won. I've followed his career for decades now. He's such a tremendous talent. Even
when he was in Ring of Honor as Tyler Black?
Just after then, I started following. Just after. I think he was still in ROH, but he wasn't Tyler Black. I just want to get into your thoughts, Luke, first.
Me? Coming to me first.
The women's.
I get where you're coming from in terms of on paper having the stronger names. I think we sat here 7 days ago and said it's great to see the NXT call-ups have that spotlight shown.
Oh, definitely, yes.
On them. I think there were 3 was in there. You had Stephanie Vaquel, who pulled double duty yesterday. She had a match at Worlds Collide and then had a match in the evening. So fair play to her.
3 matches in a row, man.
3 matches in 24 hours. Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, and Julia. Which it is nice to see that the kind of new up and comers that's a new up and comers Julia, and Stephanie have been wrestling all around the world for years at this point. But it was nice to see them kind of join the main roster and get that spotlight pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
Which they have and all that. But Naomi to win, I'm look, since the heel turn.
You've said that she's
since the heel turn, she's done some unbelievable work. You can love her or hate her, but what is it with members of the Anoa'i family and Korea revivals? You know, she started around the same time as Jay.
Yeah.
And she's worked equally as hard as Jay. Yes, she might have won a world championship or two in the past.
She's come such a long way.
But she's come such a long way, and there's actually a little bit of character now to her rather than just more of a gimmick. You know, they're allowing her time with a microphone to cut promos, which she hadn't really done before.
There's more depth in her character.
There's a lot more depth in her character, and I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on this.
Okay.
I do see her cashing in on Tiffany Stratton.
Ooh.
Sorry, Curtis.
Not Io?
I can see that.
Purely because Naomi's on SmackDown.
Okay.
And obviously the champion on SmackDown at the moment is Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
So I see that. And then I see a triple threat match at SummerSlam.
Ooh.
It's a 2-night SummerSlam. They need to sell tickets. They need big matches.
They need to pad out the show.
I see a triple threat match with Naomi as champion, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair.
Oh.
I think we see it at SummerSlam.
Very strong prediction there.
Yes, it's not the 1v1 match we were hoping for between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. But I think Naomi, over the past couple of months anyway, since, as I mentioned, the heel turn, has definitely put herself in that conversation.
Definitely.
She's got to. She definitely has to. As for the men, was it the right winner? I'd probably argue no. LA Knight, I feel, especially with it being in LA, he's been in the match 3 years in a row, and each time we thought he was going to win, only for someone else to come in.
There was glimpses of him trying to win,
yes.
But
last year, obviously, it was Drew McIntyre, and the year before that, it was Damian Priest. But I would have loved to see LA Knight. You know, he feels like the big success story of Triple H's time in charge. Yes, you could argue Jey Uso, you could even argue Naomi. I feel like LA Knight is one of the arguably faces of WWE at the moment. He's on TV every week.
He's sustainably over every week. They chant alongside him.
I was going to say he gets really loud crowd reactions every week when he comes out, and even does the LA Knight. Yeah, whenever he does that, that's really loud.
Wade Barrett's involved in a lot with that. He's a big fan.
Does Seth
surprised
need it? No. Seth win the title anyway? Yes. But does this feed more into the storyline? Yes. So I'm intrigued to see the storyline where it pans out. It feels like, even this early on, it feels like we're potentially heading towards War Games.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can kind of feel that there's 3 on one side already. You've got Punk, you probably have Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, you'd argue.
Reigns again, maybe.
Reigns, of course. So there's,
maybe.
So there's 3 on 4 at the moment. Maybe chuck Cody Rhodes in there. So you kind of had a confrontation on SmackDown on Friday.
Well, I think Cody's been in the last 3, I think.
He's been in a few War Games matches, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But I don't think he was in last year's War Games match. But I feel that LA Knight probably should have won over Seth.
Yeah. I can see that. I think LA Knight does definitely deserve it.
So LA Knight is, what is he, 43, 44? He's not like one of these young up and coming wrestlers who's going to be around for the next 10, 15, 20 years, like a Braun Breaker.
They have to pull the trigger on him as soon as possible.
Mm.
While they have him under contract.
Within probably 12 months of him turning back to LA Knight, he was facing Roman Reigns for the undisputed title.
He was.
Yeah.
That's how over he got and how popular he got and probably still is.
When we saw last night when he was climbing the ladder, everybody was cheering for him to grab the briefcase. Everybody was. Instead, Seth got it. But, what did you said to us off air, Luke? You think something's going to happen on Monday Night Raw in between the Gunther and Jey Uso match?
I do. I think we're going to have a new champion tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? You think there's going to be a new WWE World Heavyweight Championship? You really think?
I'm sorry, Curtis, because I know how much you love Jey Uso and how much you love to eat, especially on this podcast.
Yes.
But I feel tomorrow he cashes in.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a caveat to this.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I think.
You think. You hope.
We see 12 months ago when Drew McIntyre won the Money in the Bank briefcase, he tried to cash it in the main event.
Yeah.
Who costs him?
CM Punk. Again. Because Punk did it last year with McIntyre, didn't he?
He did indeed.
I'm pretty sure Punk said similar thing basically to Seth. You will not be world champion as long as I am around.
It's going to be not very long then. Punk's old now, mate. Time to hang up your boots. Make Luke cry again.
He's got one more world title running.
And then come back and make him cry again. Just like he did at Survivor Series 4 games.
But good times this time. But
yeah.
Still can't believe you cried when he came back.
Okay. Jey Uso has gone for 10 years. Roman Reigns has gone for 10 years. You never think you're going to see them again in WWE. And they return.
Yeah, it was rumoured all day that he was going to come back.
It was rumoured, but it wasn't confirmed. It was still willy won't he?
But it's WWE. If it gets rumoured, it's most likely going to happen.
Yeet.
Nowadays, if it gets leaked, it's more than likely happening.
Most of the time, we find out what WrestleMania's next year matches are, and we're still a year away. We're still like 11 months away.
Yeah,
10 months away. So
the other thing to talk about come out of that ladder match, Curtis.
Yes.
Jacob Fatu. Talk to me.
And Jeff Cobb.
Jacob Fatu. Finally. Turned on Solo Sikoa. Yeet.
It's been coming for months, isn't it? They've been building to that. Some originally thought we could see a WrestleMania match between those two. But it's carried on. Obviously, we've seen the introduction, the debut of JC Mateo. Mm-hmm. We've still got Tama Tonga and Tongaloa to add back to this.
Wow, I thought they were
storyline. They're both injured.
Oh, wow.
At the moment, aren't they? One got injured during War Games.
Okay.
And then the other got injured sometime early this year. We've still got them to add to it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a match between Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb. I think that would be a brilliant match. I think you could put Jacob Fatu in front of anyone for a face-off and people would start saying it's going to be a dream match.
I'm looking forward to seeing him in Braun Breaker.
Yes, I think that would be a good match. But how do you feel, Jack, about Jacob Fatu finally turning on Solo Sikoa?
It was brilliant. Very well done. He definitely deserves to go out on his own, especially with what he's done with the US title. It was tremendous. The way he sort of...
It is tremendous. Yes, and I think this is probably the end of the bloodline.
Yeah.
Storyline anyway.
It's done after this,
I think it's done.
I reckon, yeah.
And
every member's just gone out on their own pretty much now.
It's probably the best storyline that we've seen in a good while, isn't it? In WWE.
It's up there with...
It's gone on for 5 years.
Long on 5 years.
indirectly. But yes, how do we see another kind of bloodline faction warfare against each other? Do we see Jimmy Uso being involved in this? Do we see maybe Jey Uso getting involved in this?
I think Jey and Jimmy should necessarily stay away from the whole bloodline stuff now, I reckon.
Jimmy has been involved though on SmackDown over the past couple of weeks.
Yes. But I think this will be his last involvement.
I think, just to finalise on this, I genuinely do think the bloodline is over now. I mean, we've had this bloodline story going on for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Full of twists and turns.
A lot has happened. I think the end is here for the bloodline. I don't see it going any other way. I genuinely do think it's the end.
And I think WWE have realised that as well.
I think they have. And, it's been great. We've had a 1,316-day title run out of it. And we've had the making of Curtis's favourite wrestler in main event, Jey Uso.
But yeah.
Any last thoughts, Curtis, on the men's or women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Yeet.
Is that all you got to say?
Yeet.
Something you probably have a little bit more to say about.
Yes.
Curtis, take it away.
Take it away.
Okay, so if you was watching Money in the Bank...
Sit back, Jack. Let's
If you was watching Money in the Bank last night, I'm getting my notes here as well. I'm going proper for this.
Proper prepared for this.
If you were watching WrestleMania last night...
WrestleMania last night?
WrestleMania. No, if you was watching Money in the Bank last night, you would have heard Michael Cole say, there's been a lot of speculation and news regarding this matter. We can finally give you the location on where WrestleMania will be next year in 2026. It's not New Orleans.
Is it London?
It's not London.
Damn. Is it Cardiff?
It's not Cardiff.
Is it Newport?
Definitely not. It's Las Vegas again for the second year. Yeah, WWE announced in 2026 on April 19th, I believe, and April 20th, later in the month again as well, that WWE WrestleMania will go to Vegas for the second year in a row, and they're going to double down.
Anything you do is worth doing twice. Is I think the line Triple H said.
Yeah, so...
Isn't that true, Curtis?
Anything in life.
I feel like that's aimed. I feel like that's aimed at me in a certain way. I'm not sure though. You'll have to confirm that off air. But I have a feeling what you're referring to. Anyway, I'm going to get into my thoughts quickly.
Okay.
Quickly, smoothly, nicely, so we can get the hell out of here. I think the way it's been going with all sponsorships and kind of the sponsorships being on ladders, tables. I mean,
John Cena's bold spots.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they're on the title belts next. I mean, imagine having the Nike logo on the...
No.
The Fortnite World Championship.
They just look
Fortnite World Cup.
If they did that.
Yes.
Well, they did start showing an advertisement for the World Cup. And I did notice one Nico Williams on there from representing Camry.
Anyway.
So we were on a premium live event. Only for a split second.
And that's enough of the talk. It seems like they're more interested in money than they are the fans nowadays. My point is, they listen to We Want Cody.
Yeah.
The fans got that. They listen to Our Truth. We Want Truth. They got that. Why the hell did they not listen to We Want London? We want a WrestleMania in London. What happened to that?
We want London.
We want London. Go on, Jack. We want London. Go on, Luke. We want London. We want London. Anyway, so, yeah, Jack.
Yes.
Talk to me. Please take this utter nonsense away from me.
One, I completely understand it from money perspective.
Yeah.
If they were going down that route, yes, but they've sort of just neglected the fans in this
I agree.
way of going about it, especially with them having so many events in the coming months, especially with June and July being stacked with likes of SummerSlam, Evolution, Saturday night's main event, everything. And they've just decided to book Mania for the same location 2 years in a row. It's very weird.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't understand the whole point of them moving it from like New Orleans when it was already advertised, or all of this, just for them to move it back to Las Vegas.
I suppose they already had all the graphics ready and everything.
No, I mean, they had everything ready.
They did. They even showed it when The Rock announced WrestleMania next year for New Orleans.
I just think it's ridiculous. I just cannot believe it. I really can't.
Are we going to get that from you every year until WrestleMania's
until it's been announced? Yeah, I reckon.
I think I'll be dead before it's WrestleMania to London. I'm not going to lie. But the way it's going, they'll be at Las Vegas every bloody year.
It won't put it past them. One good thing, we might even get that stage again that we got this year.
Oh yeah,
that is the big thing.
Big thing, the big long Tron thing that was about 30 foot tall with random bloody seats on the top of the stage where people could get.
They were definitely VIP seats.
Oh yeah, they were definitely. They guaranteed people paid like upwards of $30,000 to get them seats.
I can imagine. Yeah, it was definitely
WrestleMania trip to Las Vegas, boys. As they're not bringing it to London. At least bring us somewhere close to us, not Las Vegas.
I don't think he's happy about this, is he, Chuck?
You might as well move it to Australia, for God's sake.
Well, they are going there this year.
Yeah, I bet they are. They've been everywhere but bloody London. Or Cardiff.
Yeet.
No yeet.
Yeet.
No yeet. Big no yeet. I'm not happy. I don't agree with it. No. No, as Paul Heyman says, no. And guess what? No. Luke, what's your thoughts? Tell me now before I get very, 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 very disappointed in WWE. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, all right?
Are you sure about that? I definitely think this is money over fans because the rumor was, or the report was, when it was announced that WrestleMania is being pulled from New Orleans, and then it was revealed kind of it was going to Las Vegas. Vegas put more money behind their bid than New Orleans did? But why did Vegas take so long to put their bid in? Unless they wanted to wait until WrestleMania was out the way and then they could see the economic and financial impact that WrestleMania had on the city.
Yeah. It was very last minute as well.
It was.
Surprisingly.
It was. You know, there's 10 months to go until next year's WrestleMania.
I think it was more of a TKO move than...
I think so. I think I mentioned it on the podcast a couple of weeks ago when the news first broke that this is a very UFC thing. Because if you look at UFC, once or twice a year, they have a pay-per-view in Las Vegas. It's their biggest pay-per-view of the year, International Fight Week.
Yeah.
Where you've got fighters from all over the world competing on this pay-per-view card. Their headquarters are in Las Vegas. Yes, we know it's the entertainment kind of. It's the showcase place for events and entertainment and all that. But I am going to agree with you, Curtis. London, the UK, even the greatest of all time, John Cena himself at Money in the Bank 2 years ago.
And Cody, I think, said it.
And Cody came out and said that London deserves or needs a WrestleMania.
It's not so much kind of like, it's not just the fact that we want something. It'd be record breaking. It'd be world breaking. Like, imagine a WrestleMania in London, a 2-day, the biggest event in all of sports entertainment. WrestleMania comes to London.
There'd be so much money.
The amount of things that they could do is unbelievable.
Especially in London.
Or in Cardiff. They could do a SmackDown in Scotland. They could do a midweek show, NXT up in Ireland. They could do so much. They could do a UK takeover of a WrestleMania week. They could have the world's biggest shop in the O2.
That should be
if they really wanted to. If they really wanted to go all out, they could have a whole shop in the O2. They could do entrances like a WWE World in the O2 Arena.
O2 is probably a little too far from Wembley Stadium, isn't it?
I mean, what other stadiums?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You only have one trophy, and then your manager's probably robbed it.
What, mate?
Yeah. Loves to call everyone mate.com.
Mate.
I'm surprised you didn't call your own a mate. Anyway, back on topic. The end of the conversation is, and the moral of the story, Wembley Arena, maybe. We deserve.
The UK needs a WrestleMania.
A WrestleMania, and I would like one whilst I'm still young and fit, and be able to enjoy it before I become old and not so interested. Imagine. I'll be like 60 odd. Probably end up someone will make a surprise. I'll end up having an heart attack. Dying. What a way to die at WrestleMania in London. That's brilliant. Right, that's my bucket list, boys. If I'm ever going to die, take me to WrestleMania. Let me die there.
Your life's work is finally complete.
Yeah. Signed it, mate. Wore the top, done it.
In moving back to a more serious topic of conversation, I wonder how many fans might be put off this year that it is back in Las Vegas, you know. They went there last year, they experienced what it's like in Las Vegas.
Last year?
This year, you know what I mean.
Unless they're planning something new over there, they're building something new, like a Fanatics event thing, then it's going to be very similar.
The thing is, though, the reason why they're over there so much is because it's Moneyland. It is.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is the Moneyland.
That's probably why the Royal Rumble's going to Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. And they pay like
that or Saudi Arabia.
And they pay like 150 million
per show.
150 million.
Why do they go over so much?
Screw the money. It's all about the fans. The problem is, though, they're doing 150 million for a show, right? In Saudi Arabia. When if they came to the UK, they'd probably make double that. I mean, how much did they make when they came to London? Cardiff? Didn't they make something stupid?
And that was before TKO.
I know. How much did they make? Didn't they make like 100 million or something?
They made quite a lot.
I think it was like 100 million, I think.
I think it was at least 100 million.
I think it was about 100 million over the whole weekend. And that's in Cardiff. That's that was what, 64,000 people?
Imagine with 80,000, isn't it?
At Wembley Stadium.
They could easily get 80 to 90,000.
Thank you for your rant, Curtis.
No problem.
You feel much better now. Apart from the fact, obviously, it's not going to be in London next year, of course.
Oh, yeah. I swear to God. And it's not going to be in the year after, is it?
No.
What about the year after that?
Saudi Arabia.
What about the year after that?
Qatar.
So it's confirmed.
What about the year after that?
Getting
United Arab Emirates, because they're going to pay through the roof.
What about the year after that?
Australia.
The year after that?
New Zealand.
The year after that?
Tokyo Dome in Japan.
The year after that?
Mexico City.
The year after that?
Gibraltar.
What?
Then it's going to go to San Marino.
What?
And then it's going to go to Liechtenstein.
What?
It's going to go to Andorra.
What?
Before it comes to London.
What? This is why I love the podcast. Imagine normal people that didn't know wrestling at all was just listening.
I know.
What the hell are they talking about? Why do they just keep saying, what?
Or either what or...
I drank one beer.
What?
I drank another. What? I drank another.
What?
I drank 3 beers. What? I drank 4 beers. What? I drank 5 beers. What? I drank 6 beers.
Can you question that American accent for a second?
Sure.
No. I wonder, though, if this, as I mentioned, will backfire on them in a way with maybe less fans excited to go to Las Vegas.
I think there's going to be a bigger disappointment. I don't think there's going to be... How many did they have in total? I think it was 120,000 over the whole...
Yeah.
I think they'll probably get 90,000.
Unless they pull something massive off.
I'm telling you now, if I don't see like the world's greatest possible match that was never going to be seen before, like, you know...
Rock against Roman Reigns.
It's something spectacular. Yeah. I don't know. Something crazy.
At this rate, they're going to have to fill the whole card with dream matches.
Okay. If you could pick one WWE event that hasn't been booked already for next year to come to London, what would it be and why?
Does it have to be in London?
It has to be in London. Wembley Stadium or... Yeah, Wembley Stadium. Or Wembley Stadium or Cardiff Principality Stadium.
Survivor Series.
I was going to say Survivor Series.
Survivor Series War Games or normal?
Normal.
War Games.
5-on-5.
You want War Games? Cardiff, Principality Stadium. Do you know what could go well with Cardiff?
What?
Bad Blood. Because of the red and the dragon.
Yes.
Like the dragon and the steel cage and.
Anyway, I think we're getting off topic.
We're still talking about.
We still are on topic. Yes.
No, we're talking about why the UK deserves some event and not bloody the house shows where they put stupid matches together where they have Humpty Dumpty versus Mr. Bean and Mr. Tumble versus who can I think of? Mr. Tumble versus Luke Lewis.
Anyway, yesterday wasn't just Money in the Bank, it was also WWE and AAA present Worlds Collide, the first, I'm sure many shows between the two promotions. Obviously, we know WWE in the process of buying AAA.
Uh-huh.
I watched it all. Jack's seen some of it. You've seen some of it, Curtis.
Uh-huh.
Can someone tell me why Mr. Iguana is the new, going to be the new face of WWE?
That was brilliant. It was the segment of the night for me. He's so charismatic and
for I'm speaking personally here.
Yeah.
Before the night, I knew obviously the matches were announced, but I didn't know who he was. I haven't watched AAA. I haven't really watched Lucha Libre. I know what the style is.
Yeah, I had a wind of some wrestlers there.
I knew some wrestlers. I knew Vikingo. Obviously, he had a dream match against Kenny Omega on Dynamite a couple of years ago, and he's been in AEW a couple of times. And some of the AAA superstars who have wrestled for AEW or might have gone over to TNA and done some stuff. But Mr. Iguana didn't have a clue who he was. And then when he popped up at Money in the Bank in the crowd, I did pop myself.
Yeah.
He's
such a comedic character. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant. And that... You okay there, Curtis?
They don't mind me.
I think he's won the fans over slightly.
I think he has. And I hope that he's featured prominently when the takeover is complete or whatever they decide to do with AAA.
Maybe on Raw, maybe
he could pop up once or twice. But how do you think they'll use AAA when the takeover is complete? Do you still think that AAA will run shows in Mexico as they're doing at the moment?
I hope they use the stars very, very well.
Because we didn't see a traditional WWE Premium Live event, did we? The style of wrestling wasn't probably you could argue the safe style of wrestling that we see with WWE. It was very fast-paced.
Yeah, very fast-paced.
Very quick.
High energy,
high-flying, lucha style of wrestling that we thought we might see. What did you think of Worlds Collide, Jack?
Very, very, very good show.
And
9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10? Well, what do you give Money in the Bank?
8.
Oh, okay. So Worlds Collide is better than Money in the Bank.
You've done yourself in there.
I don't think you realise what you've done.
I think I backed myself into a corner, yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'll help you out. Money in the Bank was 10 out of 10. Worlds Collide was 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got to give a word to a couple of these wrestlers. Stephanie McHill, as we mentioned earlier, 3 matches in 24 hours.
Unbelievable.
Octagon Jr., 2 matches in the space of 6 hours.
The cardio.
Probably even less.
The cardio Stephanie has is insane.
How do they do that? Ridiculous.
And then Chad Gable had a match against Vikingo in a really, really good match.
And then he
Meltzer praised that match.
He had 8 matches.
Praising a WWE match.
I know.
Christ. Gotten into the man.
And then
is he okay?
His good friend El Grande Americano, who's definitely not Chad Gable, wrestled at
definitely is Chad
Gable.
We also got a return that's happening next week.
Oh yeah.
Nikki Bella's
back. Yes, we are building to Evolution 2, aren't we? So I'm sure
there'll be something announced for that.
Nikki Bella won't be the only legend that we see
Do we see a Bella Twins reunion?
I don't know.
Evolution match, maybe.
Maybe Bree's not really.
But we know that Bree was in the crowd, wasn't she? At All In last year with Bryan Danielson.
She wasn't either.
Still can't believe we were there.
I know.
But,
ridiculous.
It was. But yes. Jack?
Yes.
Your favourite match of the night or the day was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yes.
Talk to me.
It was very, very fast paced. I think the whole show was very well paced for me. Very well paced.
What I liked about Worlds Collide as well, moving back to that quickly, is we thought there was just going to be, NXT superstars against AAA superstars. But it wasn't. It was a good mix of NXT and main roster. I think it was predominantly main roster talent, wasn't it, on Worlds Collide? You've seen the likes of Legado del Fantasma.
There was a lot of mix
Dragon Lee, style. Even Ethan Page, who is, a Canadian wrestler and wrestles the traditional kind of American WWE way.
Yeah.
Had a really good match against Laredo Kid, Javon Evans, and what's his name? Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
Which
the Lucha Libre style definitely shone through, though.
It did. It did. I will probably go and watch more Lucha Libre wrestling. Called Mr. Iguana.
Yes.
Gonna go and check him out because I'm sure there's other cool gimmicks out there in the world of Mexican wrestling. Curtis.
Yes.
You said it was a great. We sat here and talked about the fans and kind of giving them what they want and Truth coming back and then turning for Cody and maybe not giving what the fans, especially the fans in the studio, want. But you said yesterday was a great day for the fans.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think any wrestling event, and the fact that they did two events that were
in one day, yeah,
2 events in one day that were mixed between two companies with 4 different brands in a way. You had some Raw and SmackDown wrestlers on there. You had predominantly NXT wrestlers like your Trick Williams. Was he on the card? No, he wasn't.
No.
It was Ethan Page. That's the one.
Page.
You had El Grande America, Chad Gable, who's also El Grande Americano. And then I think that event was really good. And then 2 hours later, you had Money in the Bank kicking off with the women's ladder match, which was a great match. Then you had all the other matches and everything in between. But I think 2 completely different types of events.
There was a lot of variety.
But a lot of variety. And overall, a great day for wrestling in the Divide.
It was. We've gone an hour and we haven't spoken about AEW once. We haven't spoken about Mariah May.
Oh.
Who I'm pretty sure this time last week we sat here and said that when is she going to debut? Little did we know. It was 2 days later on NXT.
2 days later, yes.
How down do we feel wrapping up the podcast? Let's talk about Mariah May.
Of course you had to get that.
How do you feel about her debuting? More specifically on NXT than anything else?
It would be good for her to get the style and get the whole gist of the company. And I reckon she'll be there for about 2-3 months.
Okay. Do you see her having the title?
Possibly, yes, I believe.
Curtis?
Yeah.
Mariah May's debut, what did you think?
I think it's good for both parties. I think she did well. And I can see her winning the women's NXT title.
Plus, she's British.
I think she'll hold it for a bit, and then she'll get, I think, around Royal Rumble time then.
Okay.
She'll get put up into the main roster then. Around Royal Rumble time next year.
I feel so sorry for JC Jane because she won the NXT women's title last Tuesday on NXT. Fast forward 7 days and arguably one of the
challenger,
the future of women's wrestling in WWE makes a debut and wants the title off her.
Probably going to get the title off her as well.
Probably is. We're not going to hold it for very long. Thank you though, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis.
Always.
as always, and thank you for listening to another edition of the Are You Ready Wrestling